Welcome to Lauren the Insider. Today, we are discussing why Meghan Markle's new move to wheel out her publicist to gaslight you and me is totally wrong. This is where I am giving you my 20 years of experience spent in mainstream media as a celebrity publicist to help you decode the utter BS that currently is flying around the mainstream media. Celebrities are paying thousands of pounds a month to people like me in my old job to tell you that what you've seen with your own eyes, what you've heard, what you've read, and what you know is wrong. And this, my friends, this is stopping. We are in the era of transparency. So let's get on with the show. Quickly, please can you comment, like, subscribe, hype, or any of those other techie things that I'm not currently aware of because I'm a newbie and I still have a paper diary. So I'm not totally up to speed with all the tech side. So I want to just start by saying be under no illusion that trips like Meghan Markle's trip to Paris take months to plan. And everything about these trips is so highly orchestrated, from the mood boards to the hair and makeup to the outfit to the restaurants people will go to the fashion shows to the fittings she would have had with Balenciaga for the event would have happened, numerous fittings, which is ironic because it looked a little bit like a toilet roll. Don't want to be mean, but it did. So these things are months and months of planning. And you're very much under the spotlight at Paris Fashion Week. Now, I have been to Fashion Week before, not in Paris, but it is awful. It- what comes down the runway are clothes that genuinely, it's like when my 4-year-old dresses up for fancy dress and comes out and puts all this stuff on and puts like 4 hats on and 3 dresses and shoes on the wrong feet. It's like that. And you think, who on earth wears this? Because I'm not wearing that to soft play and I'm definitely not wearing that to Home Bargains. Anyhow, maybe I'm not their target audience. But my point being is everything is so orchestrated. And we also must remember that everything with Meghan is highly curated as well. So if you look at her social media feed, everything, in my opinion, as someone that spent 20 years being paid to advise people in these situations, everything looks very overthought, if anything. You don't see lots of highly emotional outbursts like you would some celebrities that I've represented. You see someone that's really probably sat around a board table with a lot of people discussing what font and what filter they should use on a picture. That's what it seems like to me. So we're now sat in a situation where we, all with sane minds, are now being gaslit by seemingly Meghan's representatives who are saying there is nothing to see here. How dare you? How dare you put two and two together and make four? Yeah, this is what's happening. And so the first rule of thumb as a celebrity publicist is when the poo hits the fan, you just pretend it didn't happen. And it is exhausting, hence why I had to get out of that industry because it really is not a nice place to be. But I just want to take you back a step. So here's what we know. We know, and we've seen this with our eyes, and this is factual. Meghan Markle went to Paris Fashion Week and publicly supported Balenciaga. Balenciaga, who I will not use the images on my show again. I used it once with the faces of the children blurred out, but I won't use them again because for me as a mother and as a mother that puts a lot of my funds into developing documentaries to highlight areas like the exploitation of children, I will not do it. I think it's so toxic what Balenciaga did. For me, it is unforgivable. There is no going back once a brand's done that. And so you could say, well, it's a different team. No, it's not. Just someone at the top's changed. Meghan knew this. Meghan knew what Balenciaga did because Meghan is paying a lot of people to advise her. It is impossible not to know it. My husband knows about Balenciaga, and my husband wears clothes from Marks and Spencer's. He's not a fashionista. I mean, my top is M&S. Like, I love M&S, but me and my husband, we're not fashionistas, but we are aware of the Balenciaga scandal, as most people are who have not been living under a rock. You're not wrong for being outraged about this. Patriots, commonwealthers, people watching from all around the world. You're also not wrong for being outraged at the video that she put up in the taxi that was chillingly very near where Princess Diana lost her life. It was a tragic accident. And for us to now be put in a position, or a situation rather, by Meghan's sources close to her that are saying that we are in the wrong. Oh, this is just like Keir Starmer all over again. What publicists do as well, deflect. So spin, spin, spin. You know, when you go to a pizzeria and you see the guys spinny, spinny, spinny with all the pizzas, that's what a PR is like. They're like, oh my God, spinning, spinning, it's out of control. I'm telling you this because I do not want you to ever question yourself for speaking out about what is right. And it is right to be outraged by her going to Balenciaga. It is right, in my opinion, to be outraged by the video she put up that was so casual and, again, I would say calculated. Enter the stage, Marie Claire. Now, some of you may be younger than me and not really know what Marie Claire used to stand for. So, in a nutshell, Marie Claire, in its heyday, was a phenomenal magazine. It was edited by an incredible lady called Marie O'Riordan. And when Marie edited the magazine, it was trailblazing. They really amplified rights of children, women, and it was the first, I would argue, and no magazine has come close to it. But it's not that anymore because all of these magazines that have folded and gone digital now, they're run by, I would argue, people that are nowhere near as qualified as the lady that used to edit this magazine. So we now have an absolute puff piece, which does not hold Meghan Markle accountable to what she has done, but it also makes people like you and me, sane of mind people with good moral compasses, it makes us the baddies. And I'll tell you why they're doing this in a minute. Meghan Markle is trolled for Paris video because the internet is the worst yet again. This sounds a bit like a story, like the cat sat on the mat, the end. Really, really not high level journalism. Says the Duchess of Sussex was accused of tasteless behaviour, but exactly what can she do right? What can she do right? Well, I would just give a little bit of free advice in this situation. She could not post a video in such a casual way that is so near to where her would-be mother-in-law tragically came to the end of her life whilst being hunted by paparazzi. I would also say it would do her good not to align herself with a brand that has tried to desensitize, amplify, and glamorize the exploitation of children. In a nutshell, I would go further with this, but what the brand that Meghan's aligned herself with is so abhorrent that YouTube would probably strike my video off if I use the actual language. So the piece then goes on to say, another day, another Meghan Markle controversy. This time, it's an Instagram video. A few seconds of Paris at night, shot from the back of a car. A seemingly innocent clip that anyone might take on a Parisian vacation. But in the Duchess of Sussex's case, everything she does is ripe for interpretation. Well, not like we're not wrong here. You posted the video, Meghan, and You backed Balenciaga. Double, double wrong. We're not in the wrong. The piece then goes on to say the words tasteless and insensitive were thrown around in headlines, covering how the Duchess posted the video in an area near where Diana died. It was very near. And royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams called the move beyond stupid and utterly bewildering in the Daily Mail. She couldn't possibly have intended to be disrespectful, but it's another example of the Sussexes doing something that makes no sense at all, he told the publication. On X, Meghan was even accused of next level psychotic behaviour by posting the clip on her story. When you're a celebrity, you learn very quickly everything you do will be scrutinised and looked at. We are not talking about someone who woke up one day, went on Love Island, came out of the Love Island villa and didn't have a Scooby what was going on. I like to grant people a little bit of leeway in those situations because I feel like they're catapulted without the safeguarding. Meghan was in the industry before Harry. And you can't continue to not hold yourself accountable. When I am wrong, insiders, I will hold my hands up and say, I messed up. This is wrong. I will learn from it. But this is what you don't get with Meghan and Harry. And it's just utterly ridiculous because this is where I now take great offense is publicists being weaponized to make you and me seem like we're in the wrong, and we're not in the wrong. And we should use every platform we have to advocate for children that are being exploited. And we should call out these brands that are using PR to erase everything bad they've done. So it's like we're in the wrong. So this is a Newsweek piece. It says, but a source close to the Duchess of Sussex has branded those comments a complete stretch. They have chosen, at a complete stretch, I might add, to draw the most tenuous link between an Instagram post and the death of Harry's mother. That, for me, is the insensitive bit. We didn't post the video in Paris. We didn't put our feet on the chair, and we didn't post such a casual video. There are many things. Did she not think the Eiffel Tower might be good? If she wanted to post something, there were many other things. And I don't buy it. I don't buy that these things were just a mistake. I don't buy that you didn't know about Balenciaga and the abhorrent track record that that fashion brand has. And yes, Kim Kardashian, Nicole Kidman, Anne Hathaway, they are all just as bad. But they are also not building a career on advocating for child safety and positioning themselves as a savior, I would argue. And so when you give, this is very interesting. When you give a little Google about Harry and Meghan's advocacy against child exploitation, says the Parents Network, through their Archwell Foundation, okay, this is just brackets from me. Still not a clue what it does. I'm sure most of you feel the same. Close brackets. Harry and Meghan established the Parents Network, a support group for families whose children have experienced online harm, including exploitation, cyberbullying, and mental health issues. I would argue a lot of the children that were used in the Balenciaga advert are potentially suffering right now from cyberbullying and mental health issues because of how their image was used. Advocating for stronger regulations, they have publicly called for social media platforms and tech companies to take greater responsibility for protecting children online. They have spoken at United Nations and other forums on the issue. Utterly irrelevant when turning up to these silly corporate things means nothing when you go to Fashion Week and you give them your stamp of approval and say, I've got no problem with a brand using toddlers in the most horrific way for a campaign. No, fine. Solidarity with victims' families. The couple has spent time with families who have lost children to online harm and have applauded their bravery in advocating for change. Well, you can't advocate for change and then be doing these kind of things. This is disingenuous. It is all PR. And then, oh, they're speaking out against online toxicity. Well, Start with your own behavior. So if you want to call others out, make sure how you're behaving is in line. And I'm afraid, Megan, I'm calling you out on your BS. This is utterly atrocious. And Commonwealthers, friends around the world, and patriots, we will not be called out and made out that we are the problem because Meghan is paying PRs lots of money to gaslight us. I've seen it, I've been in that industry, and I'm calling time on it. So, thank you for joining me today. You know that I won't always do a video every day. I'm always keen to give you really strong content and make sure that I'm giving you value and helping you decode the MSM BS and the celebrity industry that ultimately creates false idols. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all of that other jazz to help me, a new baby channel, keep going because I love bringing you content. So thank you so much, insiders.